Yo, good morning, Freedom Marchers. Give y'all a minute to get up in here. So we can discuss this topic. Oh boy, what you looking at, man? What you looking at? I'm already doing 80 miles per hour. What's up? Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? It's your boy Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, aka Snap Turtle, aka Snapzilla. Wait, did I say Snapzilla Gorilla? I said that already. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? I'll give it another minute or so. I know that my channel is not going to be given any, shine. Did I just see someone ask me if I support Trump? What is this nonsense? What does supporting Trump have to do with recognizing that we're being invaded? What does that have to do? What does that have to do with Biden telling the U.S. Border Patrol not just to allow just everybody in without, tracking, without any document? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? This is why I really despise the left-right paradigm bullshit, because of silly shit like that. It's just silly. It's just silly. I don't understand what one has. What does that have to do with anything? Trump is not in office right now. Biden is. You know what I'm saying? And Biden is really not Biden, right? It's his handlers. It's the elite class. Everybody that's in control of making shit happen in this country right now. They're the ones that are allowing this to happen. They're allowing. I mean, we had 8 million undocumented illegal immigrants come in since he's been in office, or something like that. I mean, what infrastructure do we have to support that level of influx of individuals? What are they that are not contributing anything to the society that we're in right now? They're not contributing anything. And if anything, they're going to place a bigger burden on society, because they're not with the culture. They're bringing, like, it's just complete utter nonsense that they would allow this to happen, right? And y'all know me, right? I'm an anarchist through and through. I'm not a libertarian. I'm an anarchist. And even with being an anarchist who believes in, freedom of travel, right? Freedom of travel, you know what I'm saying? There could be no such thing as ownership of land and all this other shit. I still have to live in reality, because we don't live in an anarchistic system. And so an anarchist has to operate within the system that he's been forced to live in.
Please reduce speed.
And I'm an anarchist who has to live within this society, who has to adapt, who has to live in anarchy as best he can, right? And as much as I recognize the freedom of travel is a thing, I think that it's a thing for people who already live in this society, that live in America, that are born here, that are accustomed and have contributed, right? Made great contributions and have been forced, right, to participate in this system. Meaning, when I was born, my mother and father, well, not my father, my mother signed the birth certificate, essentially signing me over to the state. So now, and it got me a social security number, which means that I am now part of the tax cattle, right? It wasn't voluntary. I wasn't given an option. And so, having contributed over all these years as a working individual, paying taxes, paying extortion fees, I am entitled to, operate as a free individual within this country. But the difference is, I know how this country works. I know ways in which I can operate to a certain level of freedom that other people might overlook. The people that are coming in here, these illegal immigrants, or whatever you want to call them, they're not coming over here because they want freedom for everything. They're not anarchists. They're coming over here to flee something or to take advantage, right? Take advantage of what we help build in this country. They're not entitled to, period. That is an capitalist mind state, because you can't just be giving shit without making any contributions, right? And so that's what's going on right now. These people are coming over here and they're displacing disabled veterans. They're displacing elderly people that are part of this country, point blank and period. And as an anarchist, that is not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I believe in freedom of travel. I don't necessarily believe in borders, but we have them. Just because you don't believe in something that exists doesn't mean that it's going to stop existing just because you don't believe in it. I don't believe in borders, but because we have them and because this country has operated for hundreds of years, that the border has to exist. It has to. It has to exist. It has to be secured. Why? Well, because what have we done all over the world? We have done a lot of things all across the world that a lot of countries are not happy with. We have made enemies of powerful countries. Iran, China, Russia, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these countries, parts of Africa. We have created enemies abroad, all over the place. Oh, I need to put on goddamn shea butter, man. My hands are ashes, motherfucker. But that's what we have done. And so what does that mean? What does that have to do with border crossing? What does that have to do with illegal immigrants just arbitrarily, all willy-nilly coming over here? Well, who's coming over? Is it Mexicans? Huh?
Please reduce speed.
Shut the fuck up. Is it Latino?
Please reduce speed.
This is annoying as fuck. Is it Latinos and all that other type of shit? No, we're talking about Chinese, Russians, Ukrainians, just people from all over the world. They're coming over here. They're flooding the border. They're crossing over, and we don't know shit about these motherfuckers. We don't know shit about them. But do these people care? Right? The people that run this country, the people that are telling the Border Patrol what to do and what not to do and who let in, they don't give a shit, because they feel like they're going to be insulated from any blowback that may occur from this. And there will be blowback. It can't not be blowback. Now with the number of people that have come over here, right? 8 million people, 12,000 people in one day, I think a couple days ago. Are they all just asylum seekers? Are they all good people, just peasants trying to scrape? No, they're not. No, some of them are likely going to be spies, plants. They're probably going to, who knows what they're going to do? Who knows where they're going to hold up and start planning and plotting to do certain different little shit. We don't know jack shit about these motherfuckers. Yet, these people are allowing them to come over with no, what are we talking about here? We are being invaded. That's just the bottom line to it. And our government is allowing this to happen. Why are they allowing this to happen? Well, because they feel like, oh, well, we can just create another slave class and just have them come over, work for pennies, and they'll be grateful. And we'll put them up in hotels and all this, that, and the third. And, the nerve of some of these motherfuckers come over here and bitch complain about some of the accommodations. What does that tell you? If they're bitching about some of the accommodations that they're being afforded by our taxpayer money, that tells you that they were not in poverty when they left, wherever they went from. You know what I'm saying? That tells you they are here for an agenda, some of them. They have to be. And who are our government officials talking to amongst the group of people that are coming over here? Because you have advocacy groups, refugee advocacy groups, all these other help people here because of this, that, and the third. Like, you have organizers and leaders, and you even have people that help people come over that are telling us that there is no security, right? They're like flabbergasted. They're like, oh, well, I don't understand why this is happening. Like, this is crazy, right? It's like,
please reduce speed.
This is a problem. This is a problem. And if y'all don't recognize that, if y'all don't share this out, y'all don't share the information, this needs to be shared to as many people as possible. That they need to get ready for something. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Kentucky right now, right? I just checked out of a hotel in Kentucky. And the hotel uses a temp agency to supply cleaning people, right? People to come clean the rooms and all that. And none of these motherfuckers know English. Well, some of them. Half of them don't know English. And you're talking about just like the Latino people, right? That's what they are. They're Latin. They're Latin. Some Latin. Some, you know what I'm saying? From somewhere. They don't know no fucking English. And you're talking about Kentucky. Not California, Kentucky. Where are these temp agencies getting these people from? Right? The last job site I was on when I was in the field, 99% of the motherfuckers on the construction site in Georgia were non-English speaking motherfuckers. Where are they coming from? They are displacing jobs for people, for skilled labor jobs. I'm an electrician. I work for an electrical company. That is what is considered skilled labor, not just labor. Skilled labor, because you have to have some level of intelligence, some level of problem solving in order to be an electrical installer. But that's going out the window. That's going out the window. They don't want you to have to think no more to perform electrical installations. Where when I was coming up as an electrician, you had to have all kind of electrical knowledge just to be able to perform installations, man. I went through 5 years of an apprenticeship program to learn this shit. Math, mechanical reasoning, reading comprehension, all that type of shit. And by the time I was done with the apprenticeship, I had enough credits for a degree in electrical engineering. Just to perform the work, to get this shit in, to make sure you're installing everything safely, all that, that, and the third. Well, guess what? That's going to be a thing of the past. Because they have so many of these motherfuckers coming from all these different countries that don't go through that schooling, but they might be good with their hands. They might be hard workers, and they'll work for relatively cheap. And so, yeah, I mean, they might know how to bend a pipe and bend a conduit and all this type of shit. But when it comes to more, complicated aspects of electrical work, they don't know that shit. They don't know that shit. Trust me, I know this. We didn't have motherfuckers damn near almost die trying to listen. Y'all didn't even want to know. And it was my job to make sure that my job and others.
Please reduce speed.
Oh, fucking God, shit. It was my job and other superintendent's jobs to make sure. It's just like 4 or 5 6 superintendents and a few foremen on the job that have to follow behind it and make sure the shit is done correctly. That wasn't a thing when I was an apprentice. As an apprentice, you if they had to go back and check your work, you was useless. You were useless. But now they have other ways to mitigate that, right? That's why I have been in training for the last few months to learn basically 3D modeling of job sites, right? Construction sites that are being built. 3D modeling. If you don't quit riding my ass and go around, I'm not going faster. Y'all, anyway, I'm learning 3D modeling. 3D modeling of job sites, basically. My side of it, the electrical side. Where basically what you do is they build a 3D model of the building in every discipline, right? Whether it be electrical, mechanical, plumbing, architectural, steel workers, they all contribute and they build 3D models of what they're supposed to do, of their discipline. I'm an electrician, so I had to model the whole thing. We're basically building a job. What the fuck is this shit? What is this nonsense? We're basically got these people behind me, like I don't understand this shit. Anyway, we're basically building I'm building a 3D model, right? And you install it in the building before the job even starts, before steel even goes up. And what you do is you take your section of the model, you take different sections, you cut it up into pieces. You create install drawings, right? Install drawings that basically tells you how to build the thing. And it gives you the exact path you're supposed to use, what type of bin, how many wire. It gives you all the information you need to install a certain thing when you actually in the physical building. It gives you step-by-step instructions so that you don't have to, the guys in the field don't have to try to figure it out and how to do it. So that's what I'm doing. But anybody can't do what I'm doing because they don't have the reasoning. They don't have the knowledge, right? So they wanted to take some field guys because, you have to, basically BIM is BIM modeling, right? BIM. So it's basically 3D modeling. And there are BIM model guys that have never done anything in the field. They don't know anything about electrical work in the field. But they do know how to model. They know how to 3D model. They know how to build it in a 3D model, but they don't have the electrical knowledge. So they're relying on guys in the field to tell them what works. Well, they were having issues with that, so they needed somebody that was in the field, that had been in the field, that had field experience, to come learn how to do this BIM modeling shit to make it work. So what these guys took years to learn in schooling, I've learned in like 3 months. Basically, I learned how to do a lot of this shit in 3 months that they learned how to do, and it took them years to do. And I had electrical knowledge on top of that. So that's what they're doing with guys who have the actual knowledge, that know how to build the shit, that all they had to do is be given a set of plans. And they're not given a route on these set of plans unless your foreman does it for you. Like, he might sketch you out something. He might sketch you something on a piece of paper and say, run this from that to that. But depending on your level of experience, he's not even gonna do that. He's gonna give you a set of plans and say, Here's the plans. And then each piece of equipment or lighting fixture or whatever it is, receptacle, has a circuit number on it, a panel number and a circuit number. And then on the plans, you'll see where the panel is, right? You'll see where that panel is, and you'll see the circuit numbers to all the fixtures and all that. So you have to plan the route yourself as you're in the field. You're given a set of plans, and boom, you gotta pick a path from point A to point B. You gotta do research. You gotta go up in the ceiling, maybe look where all the obstacles are, find a way to get around that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you put in offsets or whatever. And you have to have certain knowledge, like how many degrees of a bend can you have in one run of conduit without it. It's just a lot of shit. Well, guess what? These motherfuckers don't know how to do that no more. They don't know how to do that shit in the field. Why? Because they don't have the regulation that they have in their countries to perform this shit. Because they used to just Mickey Mouse and shit and do whatever the fuck they want. Well, here you can't do that. You have certain electrical codes that you have to follow. Well, that's also what you go to take this apprenticeship program for. So you learn the code, so you learn the theory, learn all that type of shit. They don't have that. They don't have that knowledge. So now the motherfuckers with the knowledge are so few that they have to do the shit on a computer first. And
please reduce speed.
Shut the fuck up and print out a step-by-step, basically, instructions for these motherfuckers to know how to do it. And guess what? I'm doing this shit in English, right? I'm doing, when I do the install drawings are gonna be in motherfucking English. I don't know no goddamn Spanish. But guess what? When it goes out there, they're gonna change it to Spanish and give it to motherfuckers that, here, follow that. I was never, they never gave me that. I never had that shit. In the damn near 20 years of my career, I've never had to be given a sheet of paper to give step-by-step instructions showing you the exact route you're supposed to follow, all this, that, and the third. No, you just do it as you're out there. Even as an apprentice, you have a journeyman and you have an apprentice with the journeyman, learn from the journeyman, and the journeyman is to give you instructions. This is how you do it. This is the best way to do it. You know, you want to take the straightest path possible. You know what I'm saying? With the least amount of bends to make it easier to pull wire, all this, that. They show you that shit in the field. The journeyman does not have install drawings to look at. No, because he knows how to do it. Well, guess what? That's going bye-bye. We have to dumb down society for these people to come over here, because that's just a reality. And I'm just talking about the people that come over here illegally and take jobs. That's bad enough. There aren't enough skilled laborers in our country for the work that needs to be done. Especially with this infrastructure bill that there's a lot of money in that, right? Yes, our money, but there's a lot of money in that shit. And they're spending it, and buildings are getting built, certain things are happening, and there's not enough of us, indigenous folk, native people to this country, doing that type of work. They're not getting the schooling. They're not interested in that type of shit. Over the decades, this has been a growing issue. So this is not just during the Biden administration. It's not during the Trump administration. We're talking about back in the 80s, and the 70s, when these labor unions did not want to take on black people to turn them out as skilled laborers. So they would rather have the illegals give them the jobs. They'd rather bring them into the unions. And that's what it was. Real shit. We're talking about labor unions, the so-called liberal labor unions who, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and they were cheaper, right? So, yes, even though you're in a labor union, there's a minimum payment or a minimum wage that for the union itself, right? But because of the people they had brought in that weren't so in demand of, like, so let's say you have a renewal contract, right? You have a contract that's ending this year. Well, if your members aren't strong enough and your membership isn't strong enough, your membership don't got the balls to say, you know what, no, we ain't accepting, we're not accepting that. We're not accepting, we want a better wages for the cost of living and all this, that, and the third. Well, if you bring these people in that don't really, they don't want to put up the fight because they're just grateful to be able to work, be in this country and work, that they're not going to put up that big of a fight. And so what happens? They have children, and their children are naturalized and all this other shit, and they don't have, and they're adopting their, like, oh, okay, well, we should be happy that we're in a union and all this type of shit. Well, that wasn't the point of the fucking union to begin with, to be happy to be in union. No, make these motherfuckers work for you. Make the union officers work for you. Make the people that are negotiating your contract, your collective bargaining agreement, make them put in the work, because they getting paid a lot of money. You talking about $150,000, $175,000 a year to represent your membership, the people in your membership. Anyway, that's just, I'm just giving you guys an example.
Please reduce speed.
I'm giving you guys an example of how much damage this can do, right? And we're talking about over the last few decades where, you know, there were a leveled amount of people coming over, and there were very few variety of the people that came over. Now you're talking about everybody under the motherfucking sun. You're talking about from every country, from Bali to goddamn Serbia. Goddamn it! Like, well, there's no way. There's no way this is going to be sustainable. And maybe that's what they want. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter where you stand politically. It doesn't matter if you're a statist or not. This is a problem for everybody here. Real shit. And like I said, I was just talking about the problems, or I expounded on the problems that could arise in the workforce. What other problems could arise from this? What ideas and what are the plans of...
Please reduce speed.
Fuck God with this shit.
Please reduce
Shut the
speed.
fuck up. You know, what we don't know these people. We don't know what type of ideas they have. We don't know what type of plans they have. We don't know what instructions they have from their member countries. Like, we don't know anything about these people. What problem can arise from that? You know why Europe has so much terrorism going on? It's because it's so easy to travel, because they're so close to other countries, right? Right. You know, that people could just go all willy-nilly and do whatever the fuck they want. And a lot of European countries don't have, the people don't have the right to keep and bear arms. A lot of these countries. And so they're vulnerable. And then, you know, these motherfuckers take advantage of it. That's real shit. Well, you're just asking for the same thing that happened over here. The only reason it might not happen on the scale that it happens in Europe is because we do have the right to keep bear arms to a degree that they're still trying to chip away at. So, I mean, it will behoove us, I don't know, to be on alert. I don't know what these motherfuckers come over here to do. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the problem. I mean, even if able to create an, we would still have to have strict border policies. Why? Because, I mean, you can't put the toothpaste back in the goddamn tube, right? Because if this turns into a voluntaristic, anarchistic society in this country, the whole world is not going to just fall into place like that. There's going to be a lot of different countries going to try to take advantage of that. You know, and try to create upheaval, try to invade, try to take over because they feel like, oh well, you know, they don't have any good leadership, they don't have any direction, they don't have any of this, that, and the third. No, you still have to maintain outside of our country as we deal with other countries. You still have to maintain a posture of, if you fuck with us, we got the heat for you. We still got that heat, you know what I'm saying? So there would have to be an intelligent and strategic transition into anarchy, where you're still going to have to maintain the military. You're still going to have to, you know what I'm saying? There's going to have to be an alliance within every society within this anarchistic country, because you can't just it just can't happen. And guess you're not going to make the whole world anarchistic, not like that, right? And so hell, you might not even be able to make the whole goddamn country anarchistic, because that's why voluntarism is more feasible, because you're going to have certain societies within this country that are going to want to have a democracy or a democratic republic or something like that, and some people are just not built for true freedom. They still want people to tell them what to do and tell them how to do it, tell them when to brush. They're still going to want, many people are still going to want to have an authority to oversee them. That's just a reality. But the point is to keep it contained within smaller societies, so that if your society that you're in becomes more and more authoritarian, and you can't convince everybody within that society, like, look, man, this is getting out of hand, y'all. Listen, this guy or these people up here, you guys got as leaders, they're doing a little bit too much. If you can't convince the people to do something about it, hey, you can go somewhere else. That aligns more with what your vision of what a society should be. You know, but that's just the reality. Like, unfortunately, open borders is not a good thing to have. At this point, in the way the world is right now, it's just not feasible. Just not feasible. Because, you know, we don't want to descend into chaos and the economic collapse, societal breakdown. They'll try to the point where the government has to step in and, you know, declare martial law and just completely go full bore tyranny. And that is what I feel they want to do. They want this country to descend into chaos, to descend into disorder, to the point where they have to step in, and they're going to have to go door to door, snatch up weapons, because they don't know where the terrorists are, and they don't know which. It's going to be bad. That's what I believe the agenda is. Create an environment, right? The Hegelian dialectic. And create a problem is what they're doing right now. By allowing all these people in here, they're trying to create the problem. And when something happens, when multiple things happen all over this country, they're going to create a fear campaign, and they're going to try to convince you that they need to step up the tyranny, because guess what? The Modelo 19 didn't work.
Please reduce speed.
The COVID campaign didn't work. The Modelo 19 campaign didn't work. It worked to a degree. They were able to test it.
Please reduce speed.
They were able to, you know, do some things with that. They were able to get a little bit, right? But it didn't work out like they wanted it to. So now they have to keep coming up with different things, and this is one way that they're going to do it. And you know, they're talking about this microplasmic asthma, right? That's going on in China, right? The lung disease, the pneumonia, right? The white lung, right? They're talking about that. They're talking about their concerns for that, but yet they're letting all these motherfuckers in from China come up in here. So this could be a double whammy. This could be a triple whammy. Terrorism, economic collapse due to overwhelming immigrant employment, and another pandemic. If that happens all at once, how many people are going to be like, oh, yes, Mr. Government, please come save me? I'm telling y'all right now, mark my words, that's what I think this is coming to. And what about dengue fever? Huh? They got the Africans coming in. Now they talking about.
Please reduce speed.
They're talking about the dengue fever, which is, I don't think that can pass from human to human. I think you have to get a mosquito bite. But I mean, you don't think they're gonna bring some mosquitoes, whatever the fuck, create some type of way that dengue fever was able to come over here? You know what I'm saying? They already have the invasive mosquito species, the Aedes aegypti, that are native to South America, somehow all up and through California and all these other states. Listen, man, I'm in my conspiracy theory bag right now. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised within the next year or so, maybe next year, election year, that is the best time to spring some sort of like something. All right, the November surprise or October surprise, whatever the fuck they call it. Listen, next year is going to be an interesting year. 2024 is going to be an interesting year, and I'm not a soothsayer, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to have to do with immigration. It's going to have to do with, because what are the big topics right now? The economy, immigration, and all these diseases, the white lung, the dengue fever, the this, that, the that, the third, right? Listen, I don't want that. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. I'm just, listen, it is what it is. We don't know what the machinations of these people are. We don't know. We have no idea what the plan is. We don't know what they're trying to do. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because they're doing it for a reason. They're allowing these people in here for a reason. It's not because they, you know, want to open their hearts and minds to, they don't give a fuck about these people. They give less about these people than we do. No, they are a tool. They are a tool that will be used as a weapons at some point. Right? They will get, or try to get, a return on their investment. Believe that to retrieve that. They will try to get a return on their investment, and it will not be good for us. It'll be bad for us. It'll be bad. But if you stay prepared, you stay armed up.
Please reduce speed.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, with this bullshit. If you stay prepared, you know, you keep your your boomsticks and your freedom seeds on hand. You know, make sure you have water stored, emergency food supplies. Make sure you're able to defend your shit. You know, I mean, what can I tell you? I mean, and hopefully you live within a neighborhood or a state where, you know, people are with and they are aligned. Hopefully you live within that environment where people are more easily brought to the